They made us laugh, dance, and believe in joy, becoming companions woven into our own memories. At 71, John Travolta lives far from flashing cameras, in a Florida home filled with light and quiet. The walls still hold photographs of moments frozen in time, reminders of love, laughter, and chapters now closed. Outside, the sun falls softly across the yard, golden and calm, much like the years when his presence seemed to energize the world. Yet inside, memory lingers, not as despair but as reflection. The same man who once filled stadiums with movement now values stillness, choosing peace over noise. To the public, he remains an icon of charisma and confidence. But beneath that image is a man who has lived deeply, loved fiercely, and learned that joy and sorrow often walk hand in hand. This is not the story of a legend alone, but of a human heart that endured. A childhood built on noise and dreams. John Joseph Travolta was born on February 18, 1954, in Englewood, New Jersey, the youngest of 6 children in a home where space was scarce, but imagination was endless. The household was loud, crowded, and always moving, shaped by shared rooms, hand-me-down clothes, and constant compromise. His father worked long hours in a tire shop, bringing home the scent of grease and effort, while his mother, a former performer turned drama teacher, filled the home with stories, scripts, and encouragement. Though money was tight, creativity was abundant. John learned early that attention was something you earned, not something given. Watching his mother rehearse lines and coach performances lit something inside him. In that cramped house, amid noise and responsibility, he discovered that becoming someone else on stage gave him a sense of control. Performance became both escape and expression, planting the seed of a lifelong calling. Finding a voice. Through performance school was not an easy place for John Travolta. Shy and soft-spoken, he often felt overlooked, struggling to find confidence among louder voices. But at home, performance changed everything. Singing, dancing, and imitating characters became his way of connecting, of being seen. His mother recognized his instinct immediately and nurtured it, encouraging him to explore theatre and movement. On stage, something remarkable happened. The doubts faded, his voice steadied. The audience listened. For the first time, he felt understood without having to explain himself. That sense of belonging stayed with him. It taught him that art could turn vulnerability into strength. While other children found identity in sports or academics, John found his in expression. Every rehearsal sharpened his focus. Every small performance strengthened his belief that this path, uncertain as it was, offered him a way forward beyond the limitations of his surroundings. Leaving home before certainty arrived. At 16, John Travolta made a decision that frightened those who loved him. He left school and moved to New York City, armed with little more than determination and faith in his instincts. The city did not welcome him gently. He slept on couches, took odd jobs, and attended countless auditions that ended in polite rejection. Hunger and exhaustion were constant companions. Yet, each setback hardened his resolve rather than weakening it. He trained relentlessly, studying movement, voice, and timing, believing preparation was the only thing within his control. Slowly, opportunities emerged. Small roles led to bigger ones, and survival turned into momentum. Though uncertainty followed him daily, so did belief. He understood that waiting for permission would only delay his future. Leaving home was not rebellion, it was necessity. It was the moment he chose possibility over comfort, trusting that persistence would eventually open doors no certainty ever could. Television, fame, changes everything. When Welcome Back, Kotter, premiered in 1975, John Travolta's life shifted almost overnight. His portrayal of the confident, quick-witted Vinnie Barbarino captured audiences immediately, turning him into a national sensation. Fan mail poured in by the thousands, and his face became instantly recognizable. Fame, however, arrived faster than understanding. While success brought opportunity, it also brought expectations. He was suddenly defined by a single image, one that followed him everywhere. Yet behind the scenes, he worked carefully, determined not to be confined. Television gave him visibility, but film offered him transformation. When Saturday Night Fever arrived, he saw a chance to redefine himself entirely. The role demanded depth, discipline, and emotional truth. It was not just about dancing. It was about capturing a generation's restlessness. With that performance, he stepped beyond television and into cultural history, reshaping how the world saw him, becoming a global phenomenon. Saturday Night Fever exploded in 1977, turning John Travolta into a symbol of youth, movement, and change. Tony Manero became more than a character. He was a reflection of ambition and escape. The music, the style, the attitude, all converged into something unforgettable. At just 23, Travolta earned his first Academy Award nomination, an extraordinary achievement so early in his career. Grease followed soon after, brighter and lighter, solidifying his place as a global star. The success was overwhelming. Posters filled bedrooms, songs topped charts, and audiences mirrored his movements worldwide. Yet behind the celebration, he felt the pressure of being endlessly visible. Success demanded constant presence, leaving little room for reflection. While the world danced, he learned that fame magnifies everything, joy and isolation alike. Still, he embraced the moment, knowing opportunities like this rarely arrive twice. When the spotlight grows. Unforgiving. The transition from phenomenon to permanence is rarely smooth. As trends shifted, so did public expectations. Some projects did not resonate, and criticism arrived with surprising speed. The industry that once embraced him grew quieter, and the label of reliability became uncertain. Yet this period taught him resilience. Rather than retreat, he reassessed. He chose patience over panic, understanding that careers, like lives, move in cycles. Smaller roles kept him active, reminding him that craft mattered more than headlines. Then, in the mid-1990s, an unexpected opportunity arrived. A bold script, an unconventional director, and a role that allowed complexity and imperfection. Pulp Fiction reintroduced him not as a symbol, but as an actor. The performance earned critical acclaim and restored respect. This comeback was not loud, it was meaningful. It confirmed what perseverance had taught him all along. Growth often follows silence, love, family, and redefined purpose. Away from cameras, John Travolta found grounding in family. Marriage brought stability, partnership, and shared values. Fatherhood reshaped his priorities completely. Roles mattered less than presence. Success became measured not by applause, but by moments at home. He often spoke of how family provided clarity during uncertain times, reminding him why balance mattered. Tragedy, however, tested that foundation. Loss arrived unexpectedly, altering his perspective forever. Rather than retreat from life, he leaned into responsibility, choosing to protect his children's sense of normalcy. Grief did not diminish his ability to love, it deepened it. He learned that strength is not the absence of pain, but the ability to keep showing up despite it. Through every challenge, he remained devoted, present, and intentional. In doing so, he redefined success, not as achievement, but as endurance shaped by compassion. Choosing quiet over applause. In recent years, John Travolta has embraced a quieter rhythm. Public appearances became selective, interviews fewer. The urgency of constant visibility faded. Instead, he focused on mentorship, family, and personal fulfillment. Aviation, a long-time passion, offered peace and perspective. Teaching, listening, and sharing experience replaced chasing momentum. He understood that legacy is not maintained by repetition, but by authenticity. The man who once filled theatres now values ordinary moments most. Cooking at home, watching sunsets, guiding his children as they grow. He no longer seeks reinvention, he honours continuity. Fame remains part of his history, not his identity. In choosing quiet, he reclaimed agency over his time and energy. It was not retreat, but evolution. After decades of motion, stillness became the reward. Through it all, he remains grateful, reflective, and deeply human. The endurance. Behind the icon, John Travolta's story is not defined by peaks or pauses, but by persistence. He experienced rapid ascent, sudden doubt, renewal, and profound personal change. Each phase shaped him differently, adding depth rather than erasing possibility. The world remembers the dance steps, the characters, the moments frozen on screen. But the truest measure of his journey lies in how he adapted, how he loved, and how he endured. At 71, he stands not as a symbol of nostalgia, but as proof that resilience evolves. Fame fades, applause quiets, but purpose remains. His life reminds us that success is not immunity from hardship, and strength is not performance. It is presence. In choosing to keep moving forward with grace, he offers something rarer than celebrity. He offers an example of how to live fully, even when the spotlight dims.